What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ready Gold Standard podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Matt Llewellyn and Mike Andrews of Nothing But Niners. We are here this evening recapping a 49ers win, a 41-22 victory versus the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Great to be back in the win column for the 49ers. Great to have Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall back. We'll get into the show. We'll get into everything, break it down. Injuries, good, bad, ugly. But before we do, if you guys are watching on X, do me a solid. Go to the post, hit like and repost, follow us. And if you're watching on YouTube, do me a solid, hit like and subscribe. Hop in the chat. We want to hear your guys' thoughts. How you feeling after this win? Also, StreamYard just unveiled this new multi stream setup to where you can choose different dimensions for your screen. It can be widescreen, it can be long screen. It's for Instagram versus YouTube versus X. So if you are watching and it looks kind of weird on your TV, there apparently is a second link. Try that second link, and that should have it formatted correctly if things are looking a little weird for you. So we're looking out for you guys. We want to make sure. I don't think there's anything we can do on our end, unfortunately, but just keep an eye out for that second link. Now that I got that out of the way, Matt, how you doing tonight?
Better than I was when you guys did the preview show. I had to miss that show. I pulled something in my back, weightlifting, so I was like kind of sucking there for a couple days, but minor injury. I'm back, and it's good to talk and win. This was a very weird game, to be honest. Interesting, but to say the least. So let's get into it, man.
Definitely. Glad you're feeling better, Mike. How you doing?
I'm good, and I'm going to piggyback on what Matt said there. Right, we're going to complain about things throughout the duration of this game, and viewers are going to be like, "Dude, we won 41-22. Why are you always complaining?" There's a lot to complain about in this game. So, guys, just be ready for it, all right? Like, I'm not trying to be funny at all, but there was a lot left out there to be desired, defensively speaking anyway. Maybe even special teams, right? Like, so, but, I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. I think that the Niners had a phenomenal game. I had a really, really good time. And shout out to this jersey that I found in my closet. I did not know I had a Steve Young jersey in there, and it's got a 75 patch on it also. Like, I had no idea this was in my closet. I went in there looking for a jersey to wear today, and I was like, what is this? Who's this? I'm like, babe, where did this come from? She's like, who knows? You have so many. So I'm happy to see that I got a Steve Young jersey, guys. So, yeah, good day for me. Found a new jersey. My franchise quarterback is back, and we got a lot of good stuff to talk about here.
That's clean. That's awesome. That's awesome. Steve Young, can't go wrong with that jersey. So let's get right into it, guys. 49ers took care of business today in Arizona. Brock Purdy returned, like I said. Ricky Pearsall returned, like I said. One of them had a lot more to do with the game plan than the other, but they said Kyle Shanahan mentioned they weren't sure if Ricky was going to be able to go, so they didn't really involve him too much in the game plan during the week, which I think we saw that out on the field. But talk about a great start. I mean, the 49ers get the ball to start the game, and Sky Moore takes the kickoff 98 yards to the 1 yard line. That close to getting a kickoff return, which would have been the first one in a decade, I want to say, since Ted Ginn, maybe? I don't even know off the top of my head. So that close.
Ted Ginn, 2011 was the last return the Niners had.
14 years ago.
I mean, 2011, yep.
It's been 14 years since the kickoff return, so that close to getting one. By the way, Sky Moore has really come on in the last few weeks. Now, I'm not saying he's like a number 2 receiver for the 49ers, but he's had his best couple of games since being traded for over the past 3 weeks, I'd argue. So that's nice to see because we definitely need that in the return game. One play later, Christian McCaffrey punches it in for 1 yard. And just like that, it's 7-0. I know for me, I was running around doing groceries. I was out on a little trip this weekend, so we're just getting back. And I turn the game on my phone, and I see an extra point going up the middle. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, we scored already? What happened? What were you guys' thoughts on the start? I mean, great start for the 49ers. Matt, I don't know if you had any thoughts on the kickoff return or...
No, it sucked that he kind of looked like he ran out of gas. Like he looked like he got tired, which is kind of crazy, going into the opening kickoff. But I did think that it was as good a start as you could possibly have without returning the whole thing. Just getting a one-play touchdown, and within 16 seconds, it's a 7-0 49ers lead. Hard to get better than that. So it was already off to a promising start.
Right. Exactly. So, Mike, I know you were hyped. talk about an easy touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. Couldn't have started off any better. 7-0. We had a prediction on our preview show. Was this making you just feel like extra bold, extra confident, thinking we may blow the doors off of this?
No, I did. I did my pregame show, and I said the Niners are going to win this one by at least 10. I said I'm not worried about it. There's nothing that I could say to change. No, there was nothing anyone could say to change my mind. This was in my pregame show today, and so this was just like verification for me. Like, Mike, you were right. Like, you got to trust your gut more often. Like, I have been 100% on my gut feelings all year long, and this one, I never wake up saying, "Oh, we're going to win this one by this many points." But this one, I said easily 10 points. Like, we're going to win this one by at least 10 points today. And just that kind of start right there, it was phenomenal. Like, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see the Niners go out there and then get it after that. You want to see them go out there and get the touchdown right after that. I thought it was 2 yards. You're saying 1, so that means that my calibration on my television needs to be adjusted, because I definitely saw him get down 90, and I thought I even heard the commentator say 98 yards, but you have the stats in front of you, so
said 98 yard return to the 1.
98 yard. Oh, now it makes sense. Okay, you know what? I heard them say 98 yard return. I kept saying I don't know how many yards, but he got to the 2. So that means that he inbounded it or caught
at the 1.
Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, all right.
It was great. It was really great to see. Talk about great blocking for the 49ers on that kickoff. And before we get into more, we got a super chat from Delvin Thomas. Thank you very much, Delvin. Empire.
Sorry, I was trying to get the.
No. Thank you. Niner Empire family. I've been smoking cigarettes since the 11th grade because I thought it looked cool. I'm 46 now, and quite as of 9 months today. Quit as of 9 months today. Cold turkey. Please keep me in the prayers. Love y'all. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest, hardest addictions to beat. So congratulations on that, and keep it up.
Yes. A sincere round of applause from all of us here. 49ers Hive, nothing but Niners. Man, Delvin, that is absolutely phenomenal to see and hear. And what's weird, right? The first time I ever smoked a cigarette was the only time I smoked a cigarette, believe it or not, right? Like, I saw my dad and his wife smoking cigarettes when I was young and all that stuff, right? And then they left us. They went out one night, and it was me and my older stepsister and my older stepbrother, and we found their pack of Newport. So we sneak off to the bathroom, and we're like, guys, we're going to smoke a cigarette. Like, we're going to be cool because this is what the adults do. Man, I pulled on that, and I choked for so long. I was like, yeah, this is never happening again. Now, I wish I could say I'm not a smoker, but I am a cigar and hookah smoker, but I do not smoke cigarettes. I've never touched them again since then, and I don't know a person who ever smoked their first cigarette because they had an urge to. It was always because they saw someone else smoking cigarettes and said, I want to try that also. It is the most popular fad in the entire world. Yeah. So, Delvin, I'm very happy that you were able to shake that after so long. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, the only times I really smoked cigarettes was when I was like when I was like 21, and I was a little tipsy and would bum a cigarette off of somebody at a party or at the family. So that's the only time, and then you can kind of enjoy it then. But thankfully, it never caught on because I have a very addictive personality. So it was never really something I liked. Ashley made it very clear, absolutely no. So it's cool. But yeah, so Niners start off electric, with an electric start, I should say. Immediately 7-0, just like that. And then on the defensive side, Pinheiro kicks off. 7-yard run, 5-yard pass, and then it's 1st and 10, a complete pass. 2nd and 10, 5-yard pass to McBride. 3rd and 10. Cards get their first penalty of the day, which were a ton of. I think they finished with like 20 penalties or something like that. Delay a game, which backed them up to 3rd and 10. And on 3rd and 10, Brissett, incomplete, deep right pass to Michael Wilson. And they have to punt. The 49ers get the ball back with, 11:59 in the first. And they just go 5 plays, 70 yards. 2-yard run by McCaffrey. On 3rd and 8, Purdy hits Jennings for 25 yards. First down, he hits Robinson for another 13 yards. And on 1st and 10 from the Cardinals' 30-yard line, Purdy hits Kittle down the right sideline for 30 yards. Great catch, great throw. Extra point is blocked, by the way, but that's all right. It's still 13-0. Those are the types of plays that we had kind of been missing from the 49ers offense with Mac Jones in here. not taking anything from Mac, but we weren't really seeing him stretch the field as much. Now, to be fair, when he did, the receiver sold and didn't catch the damn ball for some reason. But what were you guys thinking, Matt, on this touchdown throw? What were your thoughts on it?
That looked like the easiest offensive drive of the season to me. Like actual, not, the 98-yard return notwithstanding, but like a full field drive, that looked like the easiest offensive drive of the season. And it clearly looked to me on those that Purdy looked like he had gotten over the throwing the ball very high like he did against Jacksonville. So indicated to me that the toe is probably a little bit better than it was. Although there was some signs that it's not fully healed, and we can talk about that later. But everything that he threw was crisp and on point. And I appreciated the fact that he actually threw the ball away on second down and just sailed it out of bounds rather than try to force things, which, again, we'll talk about later. He did kind of get back to. But this drive was just about perfect, and it was a great sign to be up, block, whatever, but up 2 scores after 2 drives in like 6 minutes of game time. It was great.
100%. And talk about Mike Kittle. This was just the first for him today, but last week wait, hold on. Let me get my games right. He's came back. Was it the Texans week? And he's slowly kind of come back on. Today he looked like himself. Did that have something to do with the game plan, something to do with Purdy, or just Kittle being Kittle? What are your thoughts on that?
A combination of it all. After the touchdown, you see Kittle run right to Brock Purdy, or Brock to Kittle. Brock Purdy runs to Kittle, and you see them talking like, "Yeah, we're back," type of thing. Like you can see their lips saying, like, "Let's go," like we got this, right? And George Kittle's very first game back, I don't think he had any receptions in that game. And then there was last week, so this is his 3rd game back in here. And to be very clear here, this is what I like the most about the grand scheme of things. I did the presser breakdowns following the loss after the last game. I have never, and I do presser breakdowns all the time. George Kittle's been on this team, 7 years? I have done almost every presser breakdown there is to do. I've seen every George Kittle interview. I have personally talked to and interviewed George Kittle. I have never seen him be as honest as he was in that very last presser. And he said, "I expect absolutely nothing from this defense going forward. As far as I'm concerned, it is completely on the offense. Every game, we need to go out there and try to score 40 points every single game," right? He knew and knows exactly what the strengths and weaknesses are of this team. And for him to go to the podium, this wasn't some podcast where, this was immediately after a game and straight up say, "I have no expectations for the defense anymore. All of my expectations are for this offense, and we have to go out there and score as many points as possible for us to have a chance in games."
Right.
It said exactly what it was. And this game was exactly indicative of that. Yeah. This game, if you break down the time of possession and all that stuff, it's all there. He was absolutely right. But I love seeing that connection right away. I did think that 30-yard pass, I said, that's why Brock is the quarterback. That's why Brock – and Matt and I, we talked about it last game, right? And hopefully this is the last time I have to mention Mac Jones in this entire post-game video. Matt and I talked about it. I'm confident in whichever quarterback has to run out there. I think that the game plan is the game plan, and both guys can execute well. But the difference is one guy wants to throw downfield, the other guy wants to be safe. Right? And there's good and bad with both. The safe guy is going to miss the open plays, and we talked about that in the last game where he threw it to Jawan Jennings when he had Robinson open deep right behind him, right? And then in this game, you have some big plays like the 30-yard touchdown to Kittle, but there were also like 3 or 4 plays like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, take the underneath. It was right there, and you almost threw an interception. So you're going to get the good with the bad. Either way, it's going to level out at some point. It's going to level out at some point, and they're both going to be around the same margin. So I'm happy to have Brock Purdy back. I'm happy that he's out there. To Matt's point about, how Brock Purdy is playing and planting and all that stuff, I saw a tweet earlier in the week about this metal piece that he could have in his shoe, and he's opting not to play with it, which says that he needs less support than what he could be getting for that toe. So I thought that was good. I think that it's less about the actual foot and more about the leg work. Once Brock can separate those legs and step into it, a lot of times he's actually throwing off his back foot and falling backwards. He doesn't really have that quick reset and throw. And so those are the differences in the dangerous plays that you see or not. But I was happy based off of where we are in the drive recap, I was very happy to see what it looked like there on our second offensive drive.
Right. I mean, 100%. And this was, aside from the Rams game, the first Rams game, like the first time where the 49ers opened up with 2 touchdowns with nothing on the other side. Should have been 14-0, but 13-0. And, damn, I'm thinking this offense looks good. It's humming. Defense looked good. But then, of course, we can't all have perfect things. So the Cardinals get the ball back. Go ahead, Mike.
Just one more small quick thing. After Eddie missed that extra point, I said, dude, that's back-to-back games. Your very first kick now, that's 3. Like, this is going to be an issue. I didn't know it was going to be an issue in this game later on also, but damn was it an issue. So Eddie and extra points, we got to try to figure out what the issue is. Is it a line blocking for him or what? But
he's 17 for 21 since joining the 49ers on extra points, and that's kind of been his MO. When he was with previous teams, his career, he's really good in field goal percentage, but extra points has kind of been his like Achilles heel, which I think I would take, honestly. Like, I'm okay knowing that he may miss an extra point every now and then if he can go in there and drill a 58-yarder, like it was the exact opposite with Moody, where it was just the dude got in his head on field goals, regardless of 30 to 50. It didn't matter yardage-wise. He would just miss it, and the extra points weren't really that big of a deal to him. So I'm okay with that. We unfortunately have some injury news with Eddie. We'll have to get into that a little later. Didn't finish the game. Thomas Morstead had to handle the kickoff duties, and they didn't go for any extra points in the touchdowns after he got injured. But anyway, let's get back to this. So the 49ers go up 13-0, and the Cardinals get the ball back. 6-yard run, 1-yard run. It's 3rd and 3. And Jacoby Brissett hits Michael Wilson deep down the field for 34 yards. Incredible catch. No idea how Michael Wilson brought this ball down. Stout was flagged for pass interference. I really didn't think there was much there to be flagged for. They were physical kind of hand fighting, but either way, he caught the ball. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. So 34-yard gain on 3rd and 3. 1st and 10, 9-yard run by DeMarcado. 5-yard run by DeMarcado. 1st and 10 to the Niners, 17. Zaire or Bam Knight for 4 yards. 2nd and 6, 5-yard run by Greg Dortch. And on 3rd and 1, Brissett up the middle for 2 yards. And then Knight, left side, untouched into the end zone. 13-7, just like that. Followed by a 49ers 3-and-out that included a Brian Robinson left side run for 2 yards. Brian Robinson left side run for -2 yards. And then an incomplete pass to Ricky Pearsall on 3rd and 10. Matt, I remember... My camera's a little blurry. I remember texting you during the game when this happened.
Yep.
And we were like, why run it to Robinson? The same exact 2 plays when the passing game was humming.
Yeah, same motion and everything. And then you leave yourself with a 3rd and long, and then they're under center. It's just like,
yes.
what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? You had such a good offensive play call for the last drive where Kittle scored the touchdown, and you guys marched down the field with ease. And this one was just another just head-scratching drive. It was literally the same run twice, same motion with Juszczyk, and I don't know. It was one of those things where it felt like Kyle was just trying to get a little cute, and it backfired on him, and it just wasn't good. And this was easily, I would say, the worst play call drive of the game for sure.
Right, and the results showed that. I mean, a 3-and-out. You get 2 yards, you lose 2 yards, and then you kind of force a pass to Ricky Pearsall on 3rd and 10. That, if I remember correctly, could have been intercepted. Ricky kind of had to break it up. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong.
I think that's the one. Yeah. And then that leads to a massive punt return on the back end as well.
Correct. Mike, any thoughts on that sequence of 3-and-out?
No, the 3-and-out was terrible, but there is something else that I wanted to say about the previous drive on offense, right? I think I've come to accept that when Brock Purdy is in there, Kyle's not afraid of 3rd and 8s to 3rd and 11s. I think that he actually has plays designed for those conversions. There was a 3rd down conversion right before the touchdown play to Jawan Jennings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken,
25
I don't have the
yards.
play in front of me. Yeah, there you go. Right. I don't think that Kyle's afraid of 3rd and longs. I think he's willing to sacrifice a 2nd and long with a run play. And I think that he has a handful of plays that he knows I can get 11 yards on this play. Because what was the 3rd down? What was the third to go? What was the distance on that?
3rd and 10.
Right. And by the way, this was one of like very few 3rd down conversions we had in the entire first. It might have been the only 3rd down conversion we had in the first half. I think
Sorry.
at halftime,
You're talking about the one to Jennings or the one that they didn't complete?
The one to Jennings before the touchdown. To
The
Kittle.
one to Jennings was, I can tell you right now, 3rd and
8.
just 3rd and 8. Let's see, 3rd and 8, correct.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 8. Kyle has like he's very comfortable with like 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 11. Like he doesn't care. So we as fans are like, dude, it's 2nd and 8. Can you please pass the ball? Like, just do something to try to get us closer. He'll run it again because he has a play for that range. Like, it's a really wide range of yards. He's very confident in getting his guys open. And as viewers, it drives us crazy. But that's just what their offense is. Like, a 3rd and 8 is not safe from Kyle Shanahan. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the first and only 3rd down conversion of the entire first half. Back to this current drive that you're talking about, I think that they were just too comfortable with how quickly we scored on the opening drive and then the second drive that followed that. And they were like, yeah, we can just sacrifice this one. I was extremely frustrated with you guys. And I was like, this is not how I want this team to play this game. I've seen too many games where bad teams, sometimes the Niners are the worst team, that hang around in a game and you sneak out the win. I didn't want that to happen, so I wanted to set the tone nice and early. I was a little upset after we didn't convert on our 3rd drive of the game.
Right, because I mean, I was thinking at the time, if they get any points here, like that might be a kill shot. Like that might be enough to put it out of range for a Cardinals team. They were already deflated, dejected coming in from Daniel. We'll get to your question shortly. I wanted to think we forgot about you, but after getting whooped by Seattle last week, and then you give up a 99-yard touchdown to set up a 1-yard touchdown run the next play. And then if you could go 3 scores in a row while giving up nothing, but of course they go 3 and out, predictable play calling, and then the Cardinals take the ball right back over after a punt for 40 yards. And Brissett hits DeMercado for 3 yards. False start on Farrell Brown backs the Cardinals up. So it's 2nd and 12, incomplete pass to DeMercado. And then on 3rd and 12, Brissett hits Weaver for 6 yards. And they go 4th and 6, they opt to kick a 58-yard field goal, but Ryland was no good, not even close, wide left. So the 49ers take over at the San Francisco 48 and wasted no time. Purdy hits Jennings for 11 yards. McCaffrey runs for 14 yards. Purdy hits Kittle for another 10 yards. McCaffrey 3-yard run. And then an incomplete pass to Juszczyk on 2nd and 7 down to the Arizona 14. But Max Melton was flagged for holding, so they get 5 yards and a first down. And on 1st and goal from the 9, Purdy finds McCaffrey, who walks into the end zone untouched. And the extra point was no good. I think Pinheiro just missed this. I don't even think it was blocked. I think he just narrowly missed it. Matt, like you said, the offense, that looked like the easiest drive of the day. Well, the season, that had to be the second easiest because it just, very smoothly, everything worked well. Is this what the offense has been missing? I mean, Brock Purdy and just kind of that rhythm, or we're going up against a crappy Cardinals team?
No, I think Brock's ability and propensity for trying to push the ball a little bit down the field helps open things up underneath. When we get to the final stat line, you'll see that Christian McCaffrey averaged 6.2 yards a carry today and had like a couple of really big runs. And I think that's because when you start the game, how the 49ers started with a go route down the sideline or a wheel, I don't know what Kittle was running, but a 30-yard pass outside the numbers to the sideline for a touchdown over the top, then you have to keep the defense honest. You can't just sell to stack the box because you'll end up getting beat. And I think that opens everything up and it makes things look smooth. And I think, again, all due credit to Mac Jones, but he's only been here for this offseason, and this is Purdy's 3rd year in this offense. I mean, he knows it like the back of his hand. He's been in the meetings. He's gone through all the game planning. He knows where everybody's going to be, and you could kind of tell. And especially on the touchdown play, I feel like he knew that Kittle was going to spring McCaffrey with let's be honest, it was a pick play. It was a big play. And McCaffrey was wide open. Kittle got just enough of the linebacker to hold him up that, Purdy could hit him on that. So, and shout out to Christian McCaffrey too. This also extended his NFL record, 17 career games with a receiving and rushing touchdown in the same game.
Insane stuff. This comment from Polar Nice made me crack up. As a barber, I like to bet on this show. It's every stage of beard growth. Yeah. Matt had a pretty gnarly beard up until about 2 weeks ago. Then he had to shave for work. So now he's got the stash going on. And yes, like Mike said in the comments, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're not in landscape mode, click out and click on the other link for this video, and you will get the landscape mode if that's what you guys want. I know some people prefer one or the other, but it may look a little weird if you're not watching the right format. Before we continue with the drives, let's get back to Daniel's question. For Brazil, question, is it possible to get a wild card this season? Thanks for tuning in. I wouldn't say possible. I'd go as far as saying likely. I think at this point with the 49ers sitting at 7-4 on the year, they are now, 4-1 in the division. I think it's very likely that they end up with a wild card. They're competing with both Carolina and Chicago, who I think both won today, and they have head-to-head matchups with both of those teams coming up. But Chicago has a brutal remainder of their schedule. I don't know Carolina's off the top of my head, but if it's up to us or Carolina, I think I would take the 49ers in that matchup every time. So we'll see. Although Bryce Young plays like Drew Brees every time he plays the Falcons.
We'll find out Monday night.
That's right. They have them
Panthers are on deck.
At home, Monday Night Football, bright lights, everybody's back. Let's see what we can do. So hope that answered your question, Daniel. Back to this game.
By the way, speaking about wild card, Kansas City better watch out. If the playoffs started today, they would not be in. They're 5-5.
Yeah.
What a shame.
I'm so happy that they lost. I hate the Chiefs.
Oh, 100%.
I sincerely hate the Chiefs. So that's just me.
Have you heard the Kermit meme with Patrick Mahomes where somebody dubbed over the quarterback thing where he says, "I'm here," and it's like, "I'm here,
No.
I'm here." It's Kermit's voice.
No.
It's hilarious, dude. I love it.
I'm here. This is Kermit
I'm here.
the Frog. I'm here.
I'm here.
No, I didn't hear that. That's funny as hell. Though.
Great.
Yeah. That's funny. Mike, sorry.
We don't have to worry about the Panthers making the postseason, guys. Like I'm here to tell you guys. I know Zach said he doesn't see their schedule. They got Niners, they got Rams, they got Saints, they have the Bucks twice, and they got the Seahawks. They're winning 2 at max of those games.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about the
It's
Panthers.
the benefit of playing in the NFC South when only the Bucks are good. Everybody else in that division is garbage.
And you haven't played them yet. That's the thing.
You haven't played
them. The Bucks are
either
fighting
time.
for the number 1 seed. Like they're going to keep going. So they got the Bucks twice. They got our entire division, all the good teams in our division. They got the Cardinals out the way already. They got all the good teams left in our division. You don't got to worry about them now. So now we got to worry about Chicago. We got this, y'all.
By the way, 4-1 in the division for the 49ers is outstanding.
It's fucking applause worthy.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Keep talking. Come on, I can hear y'all.
Week 18,
Go, man.
Week 18 in Seattle, the rivalry jerseys. The 49ers will likely be fighting for, playoff seeding one way or another. And it could very well be a fight for a higher seed with Seattle. So that game's going to count, and I would expect everybody to play. So anything can happen. And if that fucking pumpkin, Sam Darnold, shows his ugly face around like he did with the 4 interceptions
Midnight's
today,
coming.
Yeah. Midnight struck today. He looked absolutely horrible today.
That was insane. 4
He was
interceptions.
trash.
And then did you see how they lost? They lost on a missed field goal.
Yeah.
They had a chance to win it because they were only down 2. And I think, to be fair, it was like a 60-yarder field goal, and they did not hit it. So 4 interceptions, which who does that say more about? 4 interceptions, and they still had a shot to win it at the end. The Rams couldn't put that shit to bed with 4 turnovers. Like,
to be fair, Seattle does have a stout defense in a lot of areas.
Let me talk shit, Matt. Let me talk shit. I'm just kidding.
Let me get my shit off. No, let him go.
Yeah, I know, for real. No, division games are always end up being weird. You know what I mean?
For sure.
The 49ers got the brakes beat off them last 2 weeks ago, last week, whenever they played the Rams. I've already put it out of my mind. And then come out and like halfway beat the brakes off the Cardinals, but also halfway don't. So, weird things happen all the time in division games. You never know.
Right. Yeah. Dumb King. Jamar Chase out here spitting on people. And then denying it.
And then denied it. He's going to get suspended.
Technically, his quote was, "I ain't spit on nobody," which by
It's
legal,
a double negative.
By legal laws,
Which
language
means I
laws,
spit on him.
He spit on him, so he admitted to it.
Listen, they have video evidence. He's going to get suspended.
That's nasty
for a game
work.
for sure.
Yeah, That's nasty work, and that's one of the most disrespectful things you could do.
That's vile.
Did you see?
And you know what? Honestly, when I saw it, I was like, "Good for you, Jalen Ramsey." I would have
right. Did you see his response? Ramsey's response. He's like, "Yo, he spit on me. After that, I don't give a fuck about football. It's all up from there." Respectfully, the respectfully at the end killed me. Like he just had to throw that in, that little caveat. Respectfully, yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. We'll see. I'm sure he'll get suspended a game.
Finally, zesty in a different sort of way for Jalen.
Right. All right. So back to this game. The Niners had the touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey. After the missed extra point, they are up 19-7. But the Cardinals go 12 plays, 63 yards. I'm not going to go through each play. None of them are really crazy. Oh, there is one I should actually go into. On a 3rd and 10, Jacoby Brissett hits Greg Dortch for 7 yards. Sam Okawanu did a great job tracking him down from behind, making the tackle. But then Renardo Green and Trey McBride get into it. And Trey McBride, in Renardo's defense, is shoving his hand up underneath Renardo Green's helmet and kind of pushing the hands to the face. Renardo Green retaliates, and I don't know if he threw a punch or he threw him down. But of course, as it is in NFL fashion, the refs only saw the second person. Renardo Green gets flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct, which gives the Cardinals 15 yards and a first down, extending their drive. When the 49ers defense had gotten a stop, they would have gotten off the field. The Cardinals not only went on to another 6-7 plays after that and got a field goal out of it, but about 5 plays later, Tatum Bethune gets hurt when they weren't even supposed to be on the field. Like, if they could just... Now, to be fair, I think it should have been offsetting penalties, but for some reason, like I said, they always get only the second guy. So Renardo Green immediately gets benched. He gets chewed out by Kyle, gets chewed out by Bullocks, gets chewed out by Saleh. Mac Jones is over there, sitting over there next to him, giving him friendly advice, so to speak. What were your guys' thoughts on this play?
I thought Kyle Shanahan did the right thing by trying to cover his mouth, and he did facing forward. What he didn't know was that the camera was sideways, and he could say, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot?" Like, you can read his lips so clearly, and it's like, dude, but it was dumb. Like, in real time when I was watching, I saw Green swing like 2 or 3 times. Now, when they showed the replay, I didn't see that. I only saw him swing like 1.5 times, like a push, and then, but like, dude, the official had your arm before you swung the second time. You got to fucking stop, man. The Niners, and Kyle in particular, pride themselves on frustrating the other team and letting them be the ones to retaliate because they're going to be the ones to get the flag. Right. This was a slap in the face of everything Kyle Shanahan has ever tried to teach his team. So I didn't like that at all, and I deserved that I agreed that he deserved to be sat down. Like, dude, you are costing us, and we didn't get to what happens next, but yeah, like. Yeah.
Well, they went on to get a field goal, and Tatum Bethune gets hurt like 4 or 5 plays later.
Exactly, like on the defense.
Yeah.
Right. So if it weren't for that, we wouldn't have been on the field defensively, and they wouldn't have got those 3 points. So you cost us a player and points. Like, dude, you got to cut that shit out.
Yeah. And how many times have we seen that it's always the second player, the one that retaliates, that gets in trouble? They both kind of had each other, right? Like, they were interlocked together. The ref is clearly standing right there, and then McBride lets go. And then you go back in. It's like, you got baited, dude. You got baited. Because as soon as he started doing it, McBride's like, what? What's he doing? What's he doing? Come help. I'm not doing nothing. Help me. You know? And that's always when you get hit with that. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. It just, you have to keep your head. This team has enough of the Renardo Green dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Or, you know, the it's a holdover from the Dre Greenlaw era. Of dumb stuff. You know, it was a late hit last week. It's always something. It's that personal foul. And it's just like, you guys just like keep it in. And unfortunately, it always seems to come at the most inopportune of times. So, that one hurt. Although I will say that was the only penalty on the 49ers today.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yep, that was the only one.
Damn. I thought it was a bad sequence by Renardo Green, bad thoughts. I get being upset, right? You just took a hand to the face. You're probably thinking, how is that not a penalty on McBride? But you just got to let it go. Like, your defense just got to stop. You're getting off the field. Your team's up, 19-7 at this point, and then they end up going on to get a field goal. It's 19-10. But you just got to kind of eat that. You got to eat it, swallow your pride, and go off knowing that you got under McBride's skin. And maybe next drive you can kind of poke that a little more into getting an unnecessary roughness on him. But instead, you get the flag, McBride laughs, and that's it. You get chewed out now on your bench. Darrell Luter comes in. Upton Stout ended up getting banged up. I don't know if it was on this weekend, but Chase Lucas had to come in. So we'll see. And yeah, Niner faithful, that's correct. Trey McBride, a couple plays later, gets flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct on a celebration, which I thought was
a
BS.
Terrible call.
Right. Did absolutely nothing to any of the 49ers players. Did like the slime celebration and then pointed for a first down.
Thank you.
I don't know if the refs thought he was doing the slice the neck.
The slime thing is part of it.
Really?
Yeah. So I thought it happened last year.
It was
man.
in a
You can correct me
memo.
if I'm
They
wrong.
put it in a memo and was like, "Hey, you're gonna get flagged if you do this, and this celebration."
Oh.
It's supposed to be like a gang thing,
Right, it's
apparently.
gang affiliated, right.
Yeah,
Right.
so they didn't want them doing that, and so Debo was supposed to stop doing that shit also. But I thought that happened last year. So, with that being said, though, there was no Niner player in that direction. Like he pointed to the end zone, everybody was behind him and all that stuff.
Right.
Watching it live, I said that's a bullshit flag on McBride. However, he goes on to get like 3 more penalties on himself later in the game. So it was like, you know what, screw you, dude.
They showed the referee explaining it to him too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
When
So
he was
I
like, "What?"
understood.
And the referee was like, "You went like this,
Yeah.
and you can't do that."
Now you got these old ass NFL officials trying to explain you can't do the slime thing. It said, you know, but like don't put us in that position to have to explain it to you in the first place.
Right.
When it comes back to the original penalty that we're talking about, though, the hands to the face thing, I've seen that happen accidentally. Is it worthy of a flag? Yes. And should McBride have been flagged on that play? Yes. Right. But I don't think that McBride did that with ill intention. I really think that he was sincerely trying to get up under the pads. The hand slipped, and he grabbed the face mask and turned his head. You got to know that that's going to happen in football. You got to know that's going to happen in football. If a guy doesn't come over the top and grab your face mask, odds are he's not trying to grab your face mask with I'm going to say the heel of his hand. Matt probably knows what this is technically called, but the bottom of your hand and then move your face mask. That's how he did it. McBride wasn't intentionally trying to grab the face mask. If he came down and grabbed it from over the top, that's very different. That's intentional. He came from underneath. He came from the shoulders, worked his way up to the face mask. That was not on purpose. I mean, his head even turned up and then to the side. You got to know that's an accident. You have to know that's an accident. He was trying to grab pads and jersey and couldn't get it there. So you gotta harness those emotions and chill out. The Niners, I thought we got rid of all of our emotional players. Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, like those were the emotional guys.
Jake Moody.
On the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, like I thought we were done with that shit, but apparently not.
Apparently not. So, like I said, the drive went on to net Arizona a field goal and lose Tatum Bethune with an ankle injury for the 49ers. I like Tatum Bethune. He's no Fred Warner, but I like him, right? The dude seems to be 1 injury per game at this rate since replacing Fred Warner. Thankfully, each game he's come back from and said, "Oh, no, it wasn't anything serious." He remained in pads the entire rest of the game, even when Curtis Robinson later on got hurt. He didn't come back in, but he was still on the sideline in pads, in his jersey. He just had a towel on his head, kind of testing his ankle. Fingers crossed he's able to come back next week from Monday night, because the 49ers are already paper thin at that position. So we went from a linebacker factory to like a linebacker execution center. It's like they just down. No matter who it is, man, they just can't stay out on the field.
And
so
how ironic was it that the week after they're asked about Nick Martin not being able to play, and they say, "Well, yeah, like, I mean, if somebody goes down, he's the first guy up, but, you know, hopefully that doesn't happen." And then, of course, it happens.
Right. And he played well. I thought he played well.
I mean, hey, he drew a hold like his 3rd play in the game.
Yep. Mike?
I was not disappointed with Nick Martin's play, but I said the same thing to the faithful at the end of my Patreon show where we're watching the game live. If you guys want to see the games live, go to patreon.com/NB9ERS, especially if you guys still are having that debate. Did ESPN and YouTube settle their thing
They
yet,
just did
Okay.
yesterday, yeah.
Oh, you anyway, if you guys were wondering where to watch the game, you can watch it over there. But
Still
I
cheaper.
said at the very end of it, I said that you guys have to sincerely wonder, like, about what we wished for and what we asked for. We need to see Nick Martin. We need to see Nick Martin. You didn't want it to be at the expense of 3 other linebackers. So we got to be careful with how we ask for things like, hey, this guy is bad. Let's bench him so we can see Nick Martin. Stop just saying, hey, let's get Nick Martin in there. I want to see Nick Martin. I want to see Nick Martin. You're going to get what you ask for. You got to be careful with how you ask for it, though. Like, throw a little bit more details in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was watching the return of Jafar the other night. Don't judge me, or judge me. I don't care. And the guy was like, I wish for the treasure chest of King Malakam. And he became that. Like, he didn't wish for it. He just said, I want, or give me, or make me, or whatever. And like, Jafar turned him into the actual words matter. So put that energy out there the right way. That's all.
I'm seeing here, by the way, speaking of Bethune, was seen with a brace on his ankle and was given a ride to the team bus per Matt Lively. Bethune will undergo tests to determine if he has a high ankle sprain. So, not great, but we shall see. Jalen Graham is also on the practice squad. He seems to, he kind of flashed in preseasons a couple of times, but we'll see. I mean, they're already down to their linebacker 3 at this position, so we shall see what happens. But, okay, back to this game. So the 49ers give up the field goal, and then the next drive, they don't go 3 and out. They go 5 and out. Incomplete pass on first down, 5-yard run by Robinson on second down, and then on third down, another incomplete pass to Ricky Pearsall, to which Thomas Morstead then punts for a 35-yard punt down by Saran Neal at the Arizona 8. And then the Cardinals go 4 plays and punt. Nothing crazy there. Incomplete pass. Offensive holding backs them up. So the 49ers get the ball back. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter at their own 39 after the punt. McCaffrey, 12-yard run. Purdy actually drew Mustafa for the Cardinals offsides and gets an encroachment call. I don't know why the Cardinals jumped. The clock was clearly running down to the 2-minute warning. I don't think the 49ers had any intention of ever snapping that ball, but credit to Brock Purdy by getting them to jump. This Cardinals team just looked extremely undisciplined today, and the 49ers took advantage of that. So they get the free 5 yards going into the 2-minute warning. 1st and 5, 7-yard run by McCaffrey. Incomplete pass to Jennings on 1st and 10. 2nd and 10, hits Kittle for 7 yards. And on 3rd and 3, Purdy cannot connect with Demarcus Robinson. This was a play where he kind of scrambled out to the left side and almost was picked off. He had Demarcus Robinson if he would have hit it on time, or early, I guess I should say, because it was kind of a weird play. But Robinson broke up the interception, falls incomplete, and then the 49ers trot Eddie Pinheiro out there for a 48-yard field goal, to which was good. So the 49ers are up 22-10 with a minute left in the second quarter. They kick off. First down, Brissett hits Michael Wilson for 17 yards. After an incomplete pass, he another penalty, Paris Johnson false start. So then it's 2nd and 15. He hits Michael Carter for 2 yards. D. Winters there for the tackle. And then on 3rd and 13, Brissett goes deep across the middle for Xavier Weaver. Or I think his name is Xavier. It's just his X. And Mustafa, the missile, comes and intercepts the pass. The second interception for the 49ers all year. Mustafa comes in, lays out Renardo Green in the process, by the way, and intercepts the ball with 26 seconds left. I think he was touched down as he intercepted it. 49ers get the ball with 19 seconds left at their own 33-yard line. Purdy immediately hits Jennings for 12 yards. Incomplete pass to Kittle, but it draws an illegal contact penalty on the Cardinals, so they get 5 yards and a first down. They are now at midfield. Purdy hits Jennings for 6 yards, and then with only 1 second left, they call a timeout, and Eddie Pinheiro goes out there to kick a 62-yard field goal, but it was blocked. But there's a flag on the play. Stop me if you heard this before today. And Calais Campbell, of all people, the veteran, probably the longest tenured player on the field today on both sides, was flagged for, I think, like illegal, unnecessary roughness, I guess, was the penalty. But I feel like the refs on the field said like illegal leverage or something like that. He pushed the snapper down from the top, and it didn't look like it was intentional, but you're not allowed to do that. So it was 15 yards and a re-kick at the field goal attempt. So instead of it being a blocked kick from 62 yards, it was a good field goal from 47 yards, and the 49ers go into half up 25-10. Mike, special teams becoming a strength for the 49ers?
Yeah, man. So I couldn't believe it. This series in particular was very interesting to me. So I left the show a little bit early because I wanted to bring someone on that was actually at the game. Now you guys know that I do the shows live on patreon.com/NB Niners, right? But because it's a stream, it's behind live. So because I had someone there at the actual stadium, I left my stream. I'm like, oh, we're not going to get any points here, 22. I'm ready to go ahead and just talk about the Niners having 22 points. And he was like, Mike, no, we made the field goal. And I click over and we're attempting the 40-something yarder. And I was like, wait, what the hell happened? How do we gain yards when I turned away? We were about to line up for the attempt, and it was a 50-something or 60-something yarder. That's a big difference. Way outside of Eddie Piñeiro's distance and range. I just knew that we weren't going to get it, and so I was like, "What the hell happened?" He was like, "There was a penalty," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So it was pretty cool to see. And this is when the penalties really just started to mount their head for the Arizona Cardinals. I think they went into halftime with 5 penalties, and they did more than twice as much in the second half. So that was cool to me. I was happy to get the points. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was happy to get the points. I hated hearing that the first one was blocked, though. So I even turned before it was blocked. I just knew that it was a long attempt coming up, and I was like, we're not going to make this, so I'm not worried about it. It's outside of Eddie's range. But then they were like, oh, it was blocked. And it was like, no, it's not blocked. Oh, we made it. We got the points. It was I went through a wave of emotions live during the halftime show, and then it was like, all right, let's go ahead and dive into it. So it was pretty cool to see that even the mistakes that the Niners were making were working out in our benefit.
Right. I mean, 15-yard penalty, I'll take it.
Yeah, and then on the name corrections things, you were right. It's Xavier, but you said Z earlier, and you said Zaire. His name is Zonovan, like Donovan McNabb.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I did want to correct you there.
Appreciate it.
But people call him Bam, by the way.
Right,
so
Bam
you guys
Night.
Hear Bam Night. Yeah, that's it.
Matt, any thoughts on that sequence, getting the 47-yarder to go into half?
Yeah, until they showed the replay, I'd never noticed, and I don't know, I'll pay attention to this in future games, but I had never noticed the long snapper for the 49ers just keeps his head down the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if other teams' long snappers do that, head down like that. I'll have to pay attention to it. But if other teams don't do it, maybe they should start, because that's a brilliant way to go about it, to make sure that nobody can touch you.
It's a good point.
As a defenseless player. That was just another way in which the game completely broke for the 49ers. This game just totally went in their direction. Even something as, another kick blocked. It's like, yeah, but now it's closer. And now we go in with a 25-10 lead at halftime. I thought that was really smart. And if it does turn out that not a lot of other teams have their long snappers head down, then that's a brilliant call by Boyer to do that. Right. Because that means that they were maybe actively looking for somebody to touch their long snapper. So I'll have to see, but I thought it was a cool thing. I don't think Eddie was going to make that, and I don't think the Cardinals did either. Sending Dortch back there to return it potentially if he was short. Right. We saw, what was it, the Giants game, right, where he had a 54-yarder that he barely squeaked in there. So I know the weather's probably a little bit better inside the dome in Glendale than it was in New Jersey, but still, it's 62 is a long way away, buddy. And he is not, he's not an Aubrey or a little for the Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? So right. It was good.
Yeah. Strength, I guess I should say, has never really been Eddie's game. It's accuracy, but the 49ers lucked out. I mean, Daryl Johnston and I forget who the other guy was that was calling the game, said that, his range pregame was anywhere from 55 to 58 was kind of his max. So Kyle was asking a lot of them to try and go out there and nail a 62-yarder, but they didn't have to because they got the penalty and they got 15 yards. So they go into half up 15, 25 to 10. The Cardinals get the ball to start the third quarter and they go 3 and out. Nothing crazy, incomplete pass on first down, 9-yard catch and run on second down, but it's negated by an illegal shift. So it backs them up to 2nd and 15, short pass to Bam Knight for 12 yards, right? You give up 12 yards on 2nd and 15, but then on 3rd and 3, Brissett hits Michael Wilson, who Curtis Robinson, Upton Stout team up to tackle 2 yards for only 2 yards. So 1 yard shy. And get this, on 4th and 1, On 4th and 1, the Cardinals line up to go for it on their own 40-yard line, and they do snap the ball, and Bam Knight takes it right tackle up the sidelines for 60 yards, basically untouched, for the touchdown. But, stop me if you heard this before, it was negated by another penalty on the Arizona Cardinals.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, a holding on Farrell Brown, which was a very clear hold. I think he got D. Winters, if I remember correctly. So they bring it back, and it's a 10-yard penalty. So instead of it being 25-17, a one-score game, they have to punt, and the 49ers get the ball back up 15. Guys, when do we ever get this type of luck? When do we ever get the refs throwing these flags in our favor? I mean, were you guys astonished, Matt? What were your thoughts here?
That it wasn't Vinovich or Hussey,
right?
You know, so that works out for us. It seems like those two, every time they referee one of our games, the 49ers get screwed either way, and it just happened to be those are the Super Bowl referees. But I don't know who the crew was today, but they certainly liked us and did not like the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals finished, 17 penalties for 130 yards? Like, insane. They almost had as many penalties as they had points, which is crazy. Yeah. So
17 for 130, correct?
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you guys. Like the penalties was just pouring on. Like I said, that last drive was the one that really got the ball rolling there. That was that Jim Harbaugh olive jar that he was talking about, right? Once they come, they start popping and rolling. I couldn't believe it, but I'll take it if it's gonna favor the Niners all day, every day, man. I've never seen a Niners game since Kyle Shanahan had been here with a ratio like that, a 17-1 ratio or 1-17. I don't even know how to say it the right way. Is it 17-1?
17-1, you usually say the larger number first.
So 17-1 in favor of the other team, not in favor of the Niners. So yeah, that was
17-1 in favor of the Niners. You could say it that way.
Oh, 17-1 in favor of the Niners, not against the Niners. I see what you did there.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I've just never seen a game like this in my entire time being a 49ers fan. And the Niners have had, I think, 2 or 3 games that I can remember that there were 0 penalties, but the other team only had like 4 or 5, right? So it was like just the officials just letting them play, right? But this was just completely different. It was to the point where I started feeling like, man, Cardinal fans got all the excuses in the world. They're going to think that they can beat the shit out of us next year. Like, they're going to be like, well, we had 500 yards and we had 100-plus yards and penalty yards, and if it weren't for those penalties and all the inopportune times and the points they took off the board, we would have been closer. And like, because I hear the Niners fans say and do those things after we lose a game where we're the not benefactors, but the whatever the opposite of benefactor is of the penalties, right? Like
the victim.
Yeah, sure. Like when we're the victims of all the penalties, I hear Niner fans say, if it weren't for the penalties, if it weren't for this and it weren't for that, it'd have been a much closer game. Like now I know what that shit feels like, but it was good to be on the receiving side for once since Kyle Shanahan has been here. So kudos to us. Screw them. Let's go. Niners plus the Zebras. Gang, gang, baby. I'm with it.
Exactly. So a lot of this turned into like garbage time, so I'm not going to spend too much time going play by play. Maybe I'll go drive by drive. So after that touchdown's called back, the 49ers get the ball back. 21-yard pass for catch and run, I should say, by Kyle Juszczyk. Purdy hits Juszczyk. Stuffed on the next play is McCaffrey. McCaffrey hauls in an 11-yard pass on 2nd and 10. First down. Let me speed through here. They get all the way down to the Arizona 16, and on 3rd and 4, Bikivitz is beat by Josh Sweat, and Purdy is sacked for a 14-yard loss. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was holding my breath when Purdy gets sacked, and the foot's kind of, trapped against the ground, and I'm thinking, oh my God, please be okay. Thankfully, he seemed fine. I guess we'll see tomorrow, but the 49ers had to go settle for the field goal, and again, Pinheiro was good from 47. So they are up 28-10. Cardinals get the ball back, and after 4 plays on 1st and 15, Brissett goes right for Elijah Higgins and is intercepted by Diamador Lenore, the 49ers' 2nd interception of the day, 3rd of the season, and boy, was this a hell of an effort by Lenore trying to take this to the house. I mean, he intercepted it at the Arizona, at the Niners 22. He took it all the way back to the Arizona 14. He had a 64-yard return, and he was that close to getting it back for a pick 6, which is kind of what we saw when he had the interception in Houston, where he was just so hell-bent on getting into the end zone. It reminds me of when Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner would get an interception, and Greenlaw would always want the pitch back. He'd always be there. Just he wants to take it to the house so badly. But that's all right. 2 interceptions, Mike. You did call this on the pregame show, so kudos to you. Lenore just baited him, I feel like, and he took advantage.
Now, this was a possession where I felt like they ran out of gas. I know the opening kickoff, it kind of looked like Moore ran out of gas. I think that was just really, really good angles. I think that was one person in pursuit.
Demo definitely ran out of gas.
Yeah, Demo was flatlined out there, bro. But it was a hell of a thing to see, man. I love seeing the fight after the interception. I mean, he played that so well. I mean, dropping back. His break on it was perfect and everything. He didn't interfere with the hands at all for the catch. I mean, he just completely came up there and snatched that ball out of the air and kept the momentum going. I was like, please, God, don't tell me he stepped out later on. Like, it was just so worried about it from the angle that it was when it was live, and he didn't. Demo was out there doing his thing. Now, and this wasn't a perfect game for Demo, by the way. He gave up some big catches in this game. But, I mean, that was something that we needed to see. I've been wanting Amador Lenore to go out there and get some interceptions because he plays really well in coverage. He doesn't even look – this was the second time in the game that he almost had a pick. This one he actually got. Right. The other one was when it broke up, and he's, like, looking around for – it
was behind him, right?
And then he expected it to come over his shoulder, but it was still on the left side. It's like it went over his right shoulder, and he turned his head looking for it. It wasn't there, but it fell down in front of him still, where I thought the receiver might have even been able to make it. Right. I think it was on Wilson. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was on Wilson, but who, by the way, had a really, really good game.
Hell of a game. That dude always balls out against us, but I want to say today he had 15 receptions for 185 yards. I mean, Jacoby threw for damn near 500 yards today, all in garbage time, but it is what it is. So almost gets the pick 6. The 49ers start the drive at their own 14 with a Brian Robinson run for 4 yards. After a couple of plays later, it's 2nd and goal, and incomplete pass to Jennings, 3rd and goal, and I'm thinking, shit, are they going to have to settle for another field goal, man? But no, they did not, because Brock Purdy threw a perfect in-the-bucket throw to George Kittle at the left back corner of the end zone to George Kittle, like I said, for the touchdown. Was this Kittle's second touchdown of the day, I think? Second. Puts them up 35-10. And this was before Pinheiro got hurt, so he did make the extra point. It could be here where Pinheiro got hurt, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, this is the one right here. No, this is it.
Yeah, immediately kind of grabs at his hamstring and limped off. So, unfortunately, that was the last we saw of him. Morstead handled the ensuing kickoff. And the Cardinals go 10 plays, driving the ball down. They get all the way down to the 49ers' 8-yard line. After Brissett got up to the 1, by the way, they were flagged for holding again, so they brought them back to the Niners' 8. Incomplete pass on 2nd and goal, and on 3rd and goal, Brissett hits Higgins, who is gutting into the end zone, and Upton Stout, with a fucking hell of a play, looked like Collins out there, pulls the ball out at literally like the 1-inch line, the 1-inch line, and I think Keon White was the one to recover, who had a good game today too. Just insane effort. They get all the way down to like the literal 1-inch line, and Upton Stout pulls the ball out from Higgins, and White recovers. 49ers take over. 3 turnovers in one game by this defense, guys. I mean, what are you guys thinking here? What are your thoughts? We won't spend too much time out here, but you guys got to be hyped, right? Like, Mike?
My thoughts were pretty simple.
Excuse me, bitch.
Who do you guys think you are getting 3 turnovers in one game? Like, I simply couldn't believe it, man. I didn't think that the Niners had 3 in them, I'll be honest with you guys. But, you know, I'll be happy to see it now. I wish it didn't come with the expense of almost 500 yards of total offense, right? But, I mean, it is what it is, man. We went out there and we earned everything that we got today, right? We gave up a lot of yards. This was the definition of bending but not breaking. I mean, the Cardinals finished the game with almost 7 yards per play run. The Cardinals finished the game with 10 minutes more of possession time than the 49ers. I mean, every stat that you would want to win in, the Cardinals won in. They were almost 50% on third down conversions. Total plays, it was in their favor. Both teams punted the same amount of times. But then the difference was those 3 turnovers. and the 17-1 penalties. So I mean, those are the only things in the favor of the 49ers. Passing yards, it was them. We did have the rushing yard thing, but total yards, I mean, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. The Niners just weren't there, and it shows something that the defense. It's weird, right? You put up 41 points and you don't even have 400 yards of offense. Like how? Right? That it talks about the field position, the return game on special teams and things of that nature. Both teams only punted the ball 3 times. I have no if you showed me the stat line just for the Niners and told me that they put up 41 points, I would say there's no way. It's not possible. Mathematically, it just doesn't exist. But they did it.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. They took care of business, though, and really got the job done. Hey, Brock finished the day with 200 yards passing. He only threw the ball 26 times, and they put up 41 points. I mean, that's just efficient. That's just as efficient as you could be. So after the touchdown, after the fumble recovery, unfortunately, the 49ers couldn't do anything with it because they were backed up in their own end zone. Got the ball at their own 3. Brian Robinson stuffed on first down. 4 yards on second down, and then on 3rd and 6, Purdy hits McCaffrey, but only 4 yards. And Morstead punts to, was it Dortch, I want to say? Gifford got shaken up on this play. He took a nasty hit to the head. I don't know if it was Tonjes and him collided for a tackle, and Gifford was slow to get up. The 49ers were just dropping linebackers like flies, unfortunately. Hopefully he's okay. But again, stop if you've heard this, Cardinals are flagged for holding, so they back them up 10 yards, and then they get the ball, go 10 plays, 65 yards, and a touchdown. 49ers are already up, 35-10 at this point? Am I wrong for thinking they were just trying to get out of the game safely, and they were just playing like a soft shell defense, didn't really care for anything else, just trying to get out of here without anybody else being hurt? Because it seemed like that to me. It didn't seem like they were pressing the secondary too much. It didn't seem like the defensive line was trying as hard as possible to get to Jacoby. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Just because Jacoby was eating us up.
I mean, I felt like, honestly, whenever we get around with the game rewind being over, I think that he was doing it all game. It's just that this drive happened to not have any penalties on it.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like, he had a high completion percentage throughout the game. And so, you said earlier a lot of his yards were in garbage time, and that's kind of true, but like he was chewing the 49ers up all game, and that defense is definitely a problem. So I think it could be that they were playing a little more conservative with the coverages and backing up a little bit, but this defense didn't really have anything for the Cardinals today anyway. I know they forced some turnovers, but beyond that, they were getting eaten up, man.
Right. I mean, when you throw 57 times and you have a 87 or 82% completion rate, like you only had 10 incomplete passes all day. You almost had more interceptions than incompletions.
Yeah. That 47 completions, by the way, ties an NFL record for a game.
Yeah. Insane. So,
It wasn't just the defensive drive that said that the Niners were trying to get out of there. Our last offensive possession before that, right? And I get it, we were backed up at like the 2 or 3 yard line, but it was just run, and let's see what we can do on 3rd down. Let's just punt the ball back to them. And it was very, very conservative play from both sides of the ball because of how big the lead was and how little time was left in the game. Everybody knew the Niners were getting out of there with the victory. My issue with that is just the time of possession, right? And I said it, like, if we get the ball back, Kyle needs to chew up some clock and give our defense a rest. I mean, it was 2nd down, and the guys were out there with their hands on their hips, chins in the air, just gasping for air. Like they were living on the field in this game, and it really started to rear its ugly head. And this is how injuries happen. Guys are already sore. Your diaphragm isn't working the way that it's supposed to when you're inhaling and exhaling, and like your ribs hurt and all that stuff. And no one's even touching you. Imagine now you're in the trenches, or you got to go out there and make a big hit. I was worried about the Niners maintaining time of possession on the offensive side of the ball just to give the defense a breather. I felt bad for the defense at that point, and I knew that we were going 3 and out on that last, the one that we just talked about, that offensive drive for the
after
Niners
the fumble.
So, yeah, after I knew it. I knew for sure. I was like, guys, it's going to be a 3 and out. Right. Don't get upset. I'm talking to the guys on Patreon. Like, we're backed up in the shadow of the end zone. We don't want a safety. I was like, it's going to be run. It's going to be run, and then they're going to try a pass, and the pass probably isn't going to get the first down either. Get ready for the punt. And so that's exactly what happened. Kyle's got to get out of his own head. I get playing safe football when you're looking at the numbers, but you got to do something to avoid injuries on the defensive side of the ball as well. And letting those guys live out there on the field is just not the way to do it. Like, get a first down or two, and then you can go out there, take knees for all I care, right? That's less likely to get injuries. If you're not planning on scoring on that drive, take knees. I don't care. Like, let people question why the hell is Kyle Shanahan doing that. I don't care. Giving them the ball back is giving it back to them. If you were planning on punting anyway, right? Go out there, but just don't let that kind of shit happen, So I was concerned about that at that point, but I was happy with the outcome overall.
Big Daddy Niners 45 says, "Is it just me or is the picture square?" You got to check the other link. So there, StreamYard has vertical format or what is it? Landscape and portrait mode. So you got to check
and horizontal landscape portrait. Yeah.
Right. You got to pick the right one. So there should be another one that you can check, exit out of this one and go find the other one. And it should look better for you in whatever setup you're watching. So after the touchdown, that makes it 35-16. And the Cardinals went for two, and it was no good. If I remember correctly, Martin and Winters maybe teamed up for the stop. I forget who exactly. But anyway, 49ers get the ball back, up 35-16. So they're up 19 points. And they go on another great drive. 7 plays, 45 yards. Use check 5-yard run. McCaffrey 6-yard run. McCaffrey 2-yard run. Purdy 7-yard. Oh, this was like a broken play, so Purdy just fell for a 7-yard loss. 3rd and 15. He hits McCaffrey for 15 yards. I thought, again, luck of the ref today, because I thought that was like 14.5, but they gave him the spot. They didn't even think twice. They even showed 4th and 1, and then it was just like, nope, first down. So then 1st and 10 from the 20.
This was by far the scariest throw from Purdy all game long. This was a hospital
McCaffrey
ball
got like 20 yards in the air to catch that thing.
Yeah, you could see the defender. The defender's eyes got big. McCaffrey is jumping up as high as he possibly can in the air to catch this one. And I was like, oh my God, please, 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 no. And he got hit. He took a wallop on this play.
Yeah.
But he got up and he shook it off. But this, to me, I know about the other possible interceptions. This was Purdy's worst throw of the game. I understand why he went where he was, because the separation was there. It was at the line of gain and all that stuff. So I was happy that the outcome. But man, oh man, I was like, man, this could be bad for Christian McCaffrey, and this is not what we want at the end of a game that we're winning by this much of a margin. So that was my take on it.
Yeah. But they gave him the spot. Like I said, it was a great catch by McCaffrey. He got up probably 8 feet in the air to catch that thing, bring it down, and they give him the first down. The next play, 1st and goal at the Arizona 4. McCaffrey punches it in to the right. 2-point attempt. Again, Purdy gets sacked for the 2-point event. Thank you, United Faithful. Gifford and Martin stuffed 2-point conversion on the previous drive. 2nd sack of the day. I'm holding my breath again, but thankfully Purdy appeared to be okay. Another 8-play, 65-yard drive for the Cardinals that got a touchdown, 41-22. And they tried 2 onside kicks, by the way. First was recovered by Juice. This one recovered by Guerrero. And the 49ers, after a couple of runs with Mac Jones in at quarterback at this point, were able to come and victory formation, kill the game. They won 41-22, 19-point win. Largest win of the season. Thank God they were able to. They were on pace for 50 points, and maybe they get it if they keep their foot on the gas, but I'll take a 41-point victory. Most points of the year. By the way, the 25-point first half was the most since Purdy's first attempt, December 12th, 2022, when we had Tom Brady and the Bucs in, that Matt and I were at that game. Brock Brady's first start. Sorry, not first attempt. So just something to note. Are the 49ers back? Is this offense back, guys? Are the exciting whites back? Am I crazy?
I mean, listen, the offenses looked much more free and easy, and they're going to need it because that defense is ass.
Right.
That defense is like ass. So they're definitely going to need that. And, it's hard to judge because a lot of this was the Cardinals just being a bad team. And then 49ers next 3 games, don't get me wrong, it's against bad teams, The Panthers, despite being 5-5, I don't really buy into that. They've beaten the Falcons twice. The Falcons are trash. You know what I mean? Like they've had a couple of games where they definitely could have lost to some poor teams. They have the Titans coming up, and then they have the opportunity for the first time since I think like the 80s to beat the Browns in Cleveland. So
84, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so the Browns had to trot out Shedeur Sanders today, and he looked shitty. So who knows what's going to happen? But they need the offense to hum like this every single week because the defense just has so many holes, so many problems, down to your second, third string guys on every single level of that defense, whether it's, in the secondary. I mean, Pinnock was back out there playing today after I hadn't seen him for a couple of weeks, right? I had a seagull sighting at one point. Yeah. So they're trying to figure out the safety spot. Renardo Green with a big dunce moment today. Upton Stout seems to be getting picked on a little bit, despite the fact that he did have a nice strip. And the one where he got kind of mossed by Wilson, he actually got his hand on the ball, but just wasn't able to break it up. So that was like good defense, but Stout is a short guy, and that's just going to be how it goes for the season. But when you look at the fact that Jacoby Brissett was able to throw for 450 yards of offense, they didn't have their top two running backs. They didn't have their top two wide receivers. You only have to worry really about Wilson, McBride, and Dortch, and all three of those guys had good games. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't bode well. On the plus side, the run defense was outstanding. They only gave it 39 yards on the ground. They were swarming. So they're going to need to really lock up that secondary. And I don't know if it has to be something as simple as Robert Saleh adjusts to run more man coverage or what, but they got chewed up today. And so without the offense being back, and I still think there's room to grow because obviously, do they open the window for Brandon Ayuk this week? Does Ricky Pearsall look a little bit more like himself being in the game plan for next week? Shanahan said today that, obviously they didn't know how good he was going to be able to go. So they didn't game plan around him that much. He made it through the whole game today. So what does that look like? They could get better, but they're going to need it because the defense sucks.
Right.
I also want to put this little caveat out there. Matt, I'm glad you touched on all the different players in the secondary and all that stuff because I was going to mention maybe like Lucas and all that stuff. And I like that they had Pinnock out there for a lot of the game. They rotated Brown in and out. They got to get that safety position right, in particular, that slot position right. I know that they have like this investment in Upton Stout, but Lucas has looked like the guy, and he was making plays out there today, right? 2 games in a row now, we have seen the Cardinals just eating up garbage time. And I'm not trying to be funny at all, but it was garbage time after the Niners' second offensive drive. It was garbage time. The team was willing to give up yards and even points after our second offensive drive. And so that's basically where the Cardinals lived for the last 2 full games that they have had. I don't know if you guys remember last week against the Seahawks, it was 21-0 in the first quarter. Right. Halftime, it was even a bigger window for the Cardinals, right? So the Cardinals have lived in garbage time yards. I don't know. I'm going to go back and watch the game again. I don't know if it's fair to judge the Niners. They were obviously just backing off and just letting them eat up yards and time and all that stuff, trying to get off the field. Or not trying to get off the field, I'm sorry, but just trying to get out of the game. I felt like most of this game was that way. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they were actually trying. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to go back and do the rewatch. But while the defense right now, if I had to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, I feel like they're 1.5 right now. I could, upon rewatch, say, you know what, they weren't really trying, and maybe I can bump them up to a 5, right? Maybe I could bump them up to a 5, but at times where you needed to get the stops, they couldn't do it either. So who knows? But I just want us to keep that in mind when we're judging this, because a lot of people are like, oh, man, that Panthers team, though, they play a lot better than this. They have a better run game than this, and da-da-da-da. Like Matt just said, we gave up 36 yards on the ground today. That means something. They completely abandoned the run the whole second half of this game. I think they had, 3 rushing attempts in the second half of the game? I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know. But it wasn't a lot. It couldn't have been more than 7. It couldn't have been more than 7. So they were running when they thought the game was close, and we were stopping them. So,
and to be fair to the Niners defense, the Cardinals were only 6 of 14 on third down, so that does help too. It's just, when you're missing your horses, that bend don't break keeps the offense on the field for a long time for the opposing team, and that was evidenced by the Cardinals having the ball for 34 plus minutes and averaging 6.9 yards to play, despite the fact they didn't run at all.
I was trying to find the injuries, like like an official report. I can't find anything for some reason. I know Kyle Shanahan said off the top of my head, they think Pinheiro may have pulled his hamstring. Tatum Bethune, possible high ankle sprain. Curtis Robinson and Gifford, or maybe he had a concussion. I'm forgetting. Oh no, Robert Beal. Excuse me, Robert Beal concussion. I think Robinson did return. Beal did not. Upton Stout had a stinger. He did return. Are you mouthing something, Mike? Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were trying to feed me a name. I don't remember if there's any, but the top two obviously are Eddie Pinheiro and Tatum Bethune, which, like I said earlier, Tatum Bethune was spotted in like a brace around his ankle. Hopefully both of them are okay. If the 49ers are going to be without Pinheiro for any amount of time, that may be a problem. They lucked out by finding him just off free agency. I guess we'll have to see where we're at. Thankfully, we have an extra day this next week since they play Monday night. Get an extra day to heal up. We'll have a better idea tomorrow in the conference call that Kyle Shanahan does to go over injuries for today. But overall, I think great effort by the 49ers. This looked like the 49ers of yesteryear. Not last year, 2 years ago, I should say. These were the divisional wins that that I'm used to, that I'm expecting, especially against these Cardinals. They put up a ton of yards and 22 points. The Cardinals did, but I take that because the 49ers offense put up 41 points. And these are the types of wins I think we're going to have to see moving forward from this team with the beat up defense. You're going to need to have your offense, which is healthier at this point, carry the load and carry, the bulk share of the responsibility to win these games. Special teams came through for us. 98-yard return to start the game to set up, how easy is Christian McCaffrey just has to take 2 steps to get into the end zone and bam, you're up 7-0 just like that. Great job. You got 3 turnovers on defense. You didn't turn the ball over yourself. 17 penalties for your opponent versus like 4 to you or something like that. That's winning football. That's winning football. So he didn't get any sacks, but you only allowed 2 sacks, but one was on a 2-point conversion. I'll take that. McKivitz only got whiffed by a couple times. Against Josh Sweat, that's fine. Right.
I mean, is it?
It's expected, I should say.
I mean, but is it? Like, that's not good, man, because, who do they get next week? Maybe the Panthers don't have anybody, but then after that, you got to deal with Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett had 4 sacks today.
Right. On Lamar Jackson.
McKivit's going to get somebody killed.
Yeah.
Especially when Purdy's just coming back from injury. Like, nah, man. I'm tired of seeing the whiff. There's one point where, Sweat got a sack today, and it was like he was double teamed.
Yeah.
McKivitz had him first, and then Pooney came over and chipped, and he still got by both of them. And it's just like, damn, dude.
It's unfortunate.
Bad.
Sweat has 9 on the year, but McKivitz, I mean, you just paid him to be your right tackle of the future. You're going to have to win those. So, Mike, I see you sent some injury in the chat. Robert Beal, concussion out. Fox Broadcast announced that Beal has been evaluated for concussion. Upton Stout, stinger, did return. Chase Lucas stepped in at the nickel spot. Stout did return with the shoulder stinger. Bethune, ankle, questionable. He did not return. He left in the second quarter, and Curtis Robinson replaced him. So Eddie Pinheiro obviously did not return after making that extra point. I think it was extra point. Maybe it was a field goal. Either way, made a kick. And
extra point.
Thank you. Extra point. Pulled his hamstring. We'll see the severity of it tomorrow. Kyle Shanahan didn't really have any additional details tonight. Either way, they get the win. They move to 7-4, 4-1 in the division. They only have one divisional game left, Matt. That shocked me. I didn't realize that when you said it to start the show. Week 18, that's it. They can go 5-1 in the division. They have a chance to do that. So, great win.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather them. Listen, I don't want that last game to determine whether or not they make the playoffs. I'd rather it just be for seeding. So, very critical that they win their next 3. They're very winnable games, and they need to go out and do it.
Agreed. I mean, we could be sitting here in 3-4 weeks with them at 10-4 very easily. So, Mike, any final thoughts here as we wrap up?
Told y'all last week, Niners winning 5 of their next 6. I'm standing on it, man. That's all I got for you guys, man. If you guys are looking for somewhere to go, get some bonus content, head on over to the Patreon right there. It's right here below me, patreon.com/NB9ERS. If you guys are watching on the vertical stream, it's above me right there, patreon.com/NB9ERS. And if you guys are looking for additional content, what we're bringing to you guys at Nothing But Niners, head on over to my guys at 49ers Hive. You see it right there below Matt. All right. I don't think you guys can see it on the vertical stream, but 49ers Hive is a place to be. make sure you guys get there on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to both of these channels. Great content. You won't want to miss a second of it.
Appreciate it. Go check out patreon.com/NB9ERS. Without further ado, Matt, do us the honors, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Great win for the 49ers. There's a lot to improve on, but you'll take a 19-point win any day of the week. Good to see Purdy out there. Definitely looked a little bit different, and I know that some of the cronies out there were having a hard time reconciling that, although they seem to spin it around real quick. I just want to say this real quick, and I'm sure the guys would agree with me. If you are actively poo-pooing or rooting against a 49ers player to do well because for whatever reason you don't like said player, you're a fake-ass fan, and you need to stop. You need to go outside, you need to touch grass, take a deep breath, reevaluate your life. I've always said it's about the front of the jersey, not the back of the jersey. And so you want everybody who plays for the 49ers to succeed. And there's going to be a narrative like, oh, what did Purdy do that Adrian Martinez can't do, and blah, 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 blah. Listen, the fact of the matter is the offense came out humming, 41 points, very efficient. It looked good. Let's keep it going next week. Monday Night Football against the Panthers. We'll be back here later this week for a preview show. So for Mike, for Zach, for myself, thank you as always for joining us. Zach, get your Victory Monday suit ready for tomorrow.
That's right.
Mike, get the hookah down. I'm sure you already took your victory shots. Feeling good. It's been a great day. So thank you as always for joining us. We couldn't do it without you. Until next time, go Niners.